Zara, hello.
Hi, Liv. How are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited to have you here as our healthy home expert.
I'm so honoured to be part of this.
I met Zara, gosh, how long ago now? Probably a year ago, actually. Would you say?
Yeah, well, a year and a half, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and we were running a lot of workshops individually, and then we started to collaborate, teaching people how they can switch to low toxicity in their home.
I love that.
It was so fun. So, Zara, just as a little intro, I'm going to hand over to you in a moment, but I wanted to share a snippet of Zara's story. Zara was diagnosed with breast cancer at the age of 29. And so she was literally forced to stop and look at her health. And when we talk about health, we're talking about the whole health. And given 90% of us spend 22 hours of every 24 hours indoors, it makes complete sense that Zara shifted her focus and started looking at environmental health. So Zara now has the most amazing courses where she's educating people on the importance of a healthy home. She's a keynote speaker, a presenter, and very inspirational.
Can you do intros for me all the time? Make me sound. Yeah, thanks.
Oh, to your Twitter and your Instagram profile. I'm going to hand over. Do you want to share with us your story, a little bit more background, and why you have made it your mission to empower people into making better choices when it comes to creating a healthy home?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thank you for that lovely introduction. So, yeah, as Liv said, I was diagnosed with breast cancer at age 29, which was a pretty big wake up call, and that led me to sort of learning about the role that toxic cleaning, personal care products, pesticides in food can, the role that they can play in our health. And then 2 years later, I was diagnosed with a melanoma, and then I lost a very close lifelong friend to breast cancer. So at that point, I was really starting to ask more questions and really want to try and understand why this had happened to me. And that subsequently, after going through radiotherapy and different cancer treatments, I became, even though my cancer itself and the treatment hadn't made me sick, I was chronically unwell and had a long list of symptoms that were very hard to get to the bottom of, and then eventually made the connection between my sensitivities to mold and EMFs, so from wireless technology, and also chemical sensitivity. And it was at that point that I also realised the importance of filtering my water. I remember being in Melbourne, and growing up in Melbourne, you think that you're told that we've got the best quality drinking water in the world. And I remember I'd been drinking filtered, bottled water, glass bottled water, and then I thought maybe I was being a bit precious, and I started drinking water from the tap. And for 2 days, I became very, very unwell and nauseous. And I thought maybe it's because I'm drinking water from the tap. And I went back to the filtered water and instantly improved. So, yeah.
Isn't it interesting? And you know what, now I know in a lot of the oncology units, they're actually speaking about the importance of switching to low toxicity personal hygiene products, makeup. I mean, this stuff is mainstream now.
I'm so happy to hear this, because this it wasn't discussed with me at all. And I learned off the back of that experience, probably the most fascinating thing that led me to all of this is about epigenetics, and the idea that it's not genes that create disease, it's our environment that triggers changes in our genes that create disease. And that's a really empowering concept, because we can switch these genes on and off through diet, lifestyle, and our environment.
Totally. And I think you've pointed out something that's so important. We're all predisposed to something because,
Yeah.
right, that's genetic, but we do have the power. So there's a great little saying that your genes load the gun, but the environment pulls the trigger. So we can take control at any point and change our environment.
Yeah.
So can you just help me understand the link a little more around environmental health and how that impacts your whole health?
Yeah. So, I mean, there's so many different aspects of our environment that can impact our health, but the big one is air quality in our homes. So we spend 90% of our time indoors, and the US EPA estimates that indoor air is 2 to between 2 to 5 times more polluted than the air that we breathe when we're outside. So there's toxic chemicals that are used in building materials, paints, furnishings, cleaning products, but also moisture in the home can contribute to microbial growth, airborne mold mycotoxins that can wreak havoc on every system in the human body. And then other aspects of environment health are, the lighting in our homes, EMFs, so, electrical appliances, meter boxes, power lines, wireless technology, obviously the water we drink, and all of those things.
Okay, so there's so many things. If you can help us simplify, where would we start? What would you say would be your top 3 tips to creating or changing your home so that it can become more of a health space?
Yeah, so I think one of the big ones that so many people aren't aware of is preventing moisture in the home. So really simple things like turning the fan on when you're in the bathroom or you're cooking or you're using the laundry. So preventing the buildup of water vapor in the home and addressing any water spills or water damage within 48 hours, because that's how, after that point, can take for mold to grow. And then something really as simple as getting the lighting right. So there's this massive push for energy efficiency in our homes. And especially with LED lights, which are great because they're energy efficient, but the lights in my home are terrible at night, and the blue light can affect the production of melatonin, which affects our ability to sleep, throws our hormones out of balance, can affect our immune system. So something as simple as getting the lighting right in your home can make a massive difference.
Great. I love the mention of the fan, and especially in winter, in like you mentioned, the laundry with dryers going, things like that. We do create these little places of heat. And I mean, that is essentially where mold can just flourish.
Yes. And also managing, like if you're in a climate that's above 60%, throughout the year, having a dehumidifier to pull that moisture out of the air, because that's mold can thrive in that environment as well.
Okay, beautiful. And then you touched on water quality before. Why do you, and it's interesting because you've got your own personal story around the importance of water quality, and then we know where the research is at, that a lot of even integrative health practitioners and dentists are saying, get the fluoride out of our tap water. It should not be there.
Yep.
And fluoride does so many things. One of them is that it's a neurotoxin, but a big one that I see with patients is that fluoride as a mineral can compete for absorption with other really key minerals for immune health. But a big one for you, I would have imagined, would have been iodine. So iodine plays a huge role in terms of healthy breast tissue. And if you're drinking tap water that has fluoride in it, maybe a little bit of toothpaste that has fluoride in it, and you're getting this buildup of fluoride, your body's not going to be absorbing iodine effectively.
Wow, I didn't know about that.
There you go. So yeah, fluoride really is a huge issue. That it's great. I mean, it's only one of the many issues around our drinking water. Do you have a filter in your house, and would you recommend it from an investment point of view? Because it is an investment. Anywhere from $200 to probably $900 for the bee's knees is where you'd be looking at for a good quality water filter.
Yeah, so I have a reverse osmosis, but I've just got it's just 2 cylinders, and it sits in my laundry. So it's like under $200, I think. But I am now looking at upgrading to a 5
stage.
Yeah, and then on my tap, so I've got a chlorine filter on the tap in my bath and in my shower. So I know people think that the bee's knees of water filtration is having a whole house reverse osmosis water filtration system, but for every litre of reverse osmosis water, there's a litre of wastewater, so it's actually not really good from an environmental point of view.
Totally. It always comes back to that balance. I often say it's like a dance when it comes to health. You want a little bit of something, but too much can start to have an impact on something else. Yeah. And I do just say to people, start with the water that you're drinking.
Yes.
And then go from there. So I have a few different options with water filters, which I won't get into too much now because I want to use your time wisely. Tell me, how do you stay hydrated throughout the day?
So I think the key to making sure that I stay hydrated is, so I've got I've got this. If I'm at home, I've got this on my desk, or if I'm going out, I make sure I've got my water to take with me. Otherwise you can forget. Also making your water taste nice, so it's enjoyable. So putting like a drop of lemon or wild orange essential oil, or like especially in summertime, some cucumber and mint or chopped fruit to make it taste good.
Totally. It's so simple, isn't it? And this is where I always say to herbal tea. And again, it doesn't have to be hot like in summer, especially where you live, because you live up where it gets quite warm. Making an iced tea, like just having some peppermint or grabbing some mint leaves from the garden and leaving it in the fridge. And then before you know it, like iced tea, sparkling water, and even bone broth kind of all counts as part of your hydration.
Yeah.
And so just going back a little bit more to your healthy home. So your healthy home touches on, it touches on water, it touches on moisture, it touches on a lot of the aspects you spoke about. Can you tell us a little bit more about your 5-week program and when it's next kicking off? So anyone that's intrigued and wants to hear more can look at what's on offer.
Absolutely. So it's a 5-week e-course, and we go through the 5 pillars of the healthy home, which are air quality, light, water quality, and then low frequency, so reducing your exposure to EMFs, and then low tox, which sort of encompasses a lot of those things, but looking at things like bedding and furniture and makeup. And we have webinars every week. I'm really excited that you're going to be one of our experts. And we have an amazing community in Facebook, so you can go in there and post your questions, get them answered. It's a wonderful, really supportive group.
Good. Okay, great. And so doors are opening for your next e-course on the 9th of July, and then the Healthy Home e-course is kicking off on the 20th of July. Is that correct? Good.
And there will be building materials one later in the year for people who are renovating or building.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to add in around the importance of a healthy home or environmental health?
The other thing I just wanted to add it in terms of water, on top of fluoride and chlorine, that so many people don't realise is in our water supply is heavy metals, so aluminium, copper, lead, asbestos. It was estimated in 2016 that 40,000 kilometres of water pipes in Australia have asbestos in them due to cement that's wearing down. And then there's PVC from water pipes, like downpipes. So that can leach phthalates, BPA, dioxin, which is widely recognised in scientific literature as the most toxic chemical compound known to man. So there are so many reasons to filter our water.
Totally. And that's why they're called endocrine disruptors, because they're hormone messer-uppers. And when you start messing up hormones, you have a whole number of inflammation and immune issues that kind of follows.
And like women with polycystic ovarian syndrome, early onset puberty, breast cancer, the list goes on.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
For having me.
Oh, our pleasure. Thanks for sharing your knowledge with us.
My pleasure.
Bye.
Later.